Okay, we should be live on Facebook. Barbara is on Facebook for all of our Facebook friends. She'll be on there as your online host. Barbara, if you could give me a thumbs up that you see us on Facebook when you get a chance.
I think I saw a nod there. Great. And if everyone wants to put their information in chat, that's fine as well. So we know who all's here this morning. All right. Well, I am showing 8 o'clock, Donna Lisa. Does that sound right to you? Okay. Good morning and welcome, everyone. My name is Tracy Irby, and I am the director at the Center for Women Entrepreneurs. So glad to see so many of you today. I know we had Florida in there, and if people want to put where they're from as well, you can put that in the chat. We've learned since we went virtual that we do get people from around the world attending. And for that reason, we will always have a portion virtually as well, so we can continue to reach so many of you. Thank you for being here again. We're sorry we couldn't do this in person this time, but hopefully, I know Donna Lisa works so hard too getting that ready, but hopefully here in the next few months, we will be able to go live again. But for the rest of you, we'll always have this virtual component as well. So for those of you that aren't familiar with the Center for Women Entrepreneurs, we were funded by the state legislature in 2015 just to help promote women entrepreneurs anywhere in the state of Texas. And we do that through small business advising, networking and training events. We also do funding. We have many different grant programs. We'll have a new and exciting one we're going to pre-announce within a few weeks, right, Donna Lisa? And then we also do research into women entrepreneurs and women in the workplace. I do see that we have several of our grant winners and online today, so it's always great to see them as well. We have some from our accelerator incubator program, and so we're always happy to have them attend as well. So our center is part of the larger Jane Nelson Institute for Women's Leadership, and they're dedicated to preparing more women to take on successful roles in business and public service to ensure women have the education to establish careers as successful C-suite executives, the skills for building entrepreneurial businesses, and the framework needed to run for public office. The other two centers are the Center for Student Leadership and the Center for Women in Politics and Public Policy. So just reach out if you're interested in learning more about those centers. And I must say, I'm very excited to introduce our speaker today. Tamara Payne has been an entrepreneur in one way or another most of her life. She is a community builder, a master connector, advocate for women in business, and a leader in the small business community. She is the co-founder and CEO of Ensemble, a collaborative business community and co-working space in Fort Worth. She is also principal consultant at Pain Free Consulting, where she advises small business owners and their teams on mastering the core elements of running a business and create sustainable success. In 2020, she added City Councilwoman to her list of titles when she was elected to Burleson City Council. She joined the staff at Tarrant County College in the fall of 2021 as adjunct professor teaching small business and entrepreneurship to aspiring entrepreneurs. So we're so happy to have you here this morning. I'm going to turn it over to you now.
Thank you, Tracy. Good morning. I'm going to get my screen shared, so if you all will give me a second to make sure everything's working well. Can you see my PowerPoint screen? Awesome. All right. Well, good morning. Good morning. This is the power of we, connections, collaboration, and community. And I am just incredibly excited that you guys are here with me. There we go. So a woman alone has power, right? But women together make an impact. I want to see some heads shaking on that one. Together, we make an impact, right? If we are all in agreement about this and we know it's the truth, then why? Why do we not embrace this on a regular basis, right? We live in a competitive world. We compete with others for jobs, for clients, for notoriety. We've been taught to be competitive since we were young, haven't we? Life is a giant power struggle to get ahead, to win, to be more, to achieve more. And to get that done, we must compete with each other, especially men, right? But this strategy is not effective. Truthfully, it's not. Because when we work together, we as women, we empower each other. When we collaborate, we are more powerful and we make an impact. There is power in we, meaning together, you and me, and you, 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 and you. Okay? All of us together. We can be powerful allies, more powerful together than a destructive as enemies. Do you agree with that? See, we together are women entrepreneurs. So it's got a double meaning there, ladies. We, as in you and I, but we as women entrepreneurs. We are the most powerful buying block in the world. We hold the power of the decisions in the household. We raise the children. We hold each other's hands in times of grief and in times of celebration. We are the foundations. We are the driving force. We truly make it happen. We rise when we lift each other up, when we embrace one another's superpowers, and we have each other's back. There is power in we. So, how do we strengthen these relationships with women peers, right? I mean, that ultimately is the question. How do we make this happen? It's difficult sometimes to get close to other women. Anyone else experience that? In my 51 years of life, I've had plenty of difficulties in creating relationships with women, good women, not bad women, good women, because we struggle on learning how to do it. Because we've been taught certain things. We have to break those stereotypes. We have to get past our own issues, number one. I've got them. You've got them. So we have to get past each other's issues as well. So here's the good news. It starts with what we just did earlier this morning, just a few minutes ago, really. It starts with the connections. See, we all crave connection, women especially. We crave being connected to other human beings. Actually, we thrive on it. And women more so than men. So you have to embrace the opportunity to make a connection when you meet another woman. I'm going to say something harsh here for a second. Don't judge her by the way she looks. Don't judge her by the name badge that she wears or by her title. And then don't be intimidated by those things either. Remove yourself from the whole thinking and focus on her. See, that's the ego when I said judging her by her looks, her name badge, and her title, and being intimidated, right? So you have to focus on her, focus on the other woman or women. Find what you have in common with those other women, not what differences you have. We live in a world of differences right now where that seems to be the number one thing that jumps out to everybody. And you know what? We have more in common than we do different if we would just focus on it. You have to focus on the simple things. Life things sometimes are best. Culture, family, where you grew up. You find shared interests and goals. That's how a connection becomes more than just a connection, more than an opportunity to sell one another or use one another for business purposes. I look at each connection that I make as a chance to embrace one another and to empower and lift one another. I would venture to guess that each and every one of us needs more true connections, women who understand us, who accept us and embrace us for all of our good and bad qualities. See, connections that could lead to friendships, business partnerships, collaborations. I'm standing here today telling you that I can use more of that because people come in and out of my life. Connections sometimes are for a moment, they're for a season, or they're for a lifetime. And there's a reason for them. So I'm here to tell you, as a very busy woman who hears from other women, oh, I know you're busy. I didn't want to bother you. I need that. I crave it too, just like you. So to take the connection to the next level, we must be vulnerable and we must be authentic. I can tell you all the great things in my life, and I can show you all the wonderful things, on Facebook and the pictures on my phone. And I can say, oh, this is great. Here's my accomplishments, and this is what I've done. And here's my titles. How will you feel about me then? How do you feel sometimes when women do that? Let's be honest for a second. Do you feel envious? Do you feel jealous? If I'm telling you the drama of my life, do you feel sad for me? And you know what happens next? Comparison comes in and your joy is stolen. How many of you have heard of this before? Right? I don't know why I hadn't heard of it until like 2 years ago. And then I went, oh my gosh. It was like mind blown. Comparison is the thief of joy. And no more true is this phrase than for women. Interesting that it came from Theodore Roosevelt. But this is so true for women. It's plain and simple. You make no bones about it. I don't want to make you feel that way. So I implore you to really, really take this in. When you talk about yourself, your accomplishments, it doesn't endear you to another person. It pushes them away. Not intentionally. I realize that. Now, if I stand here and I tell you about what a hot mess yesterday was and how some days I wonder how I'm doing it all, you will probably laugh with me and commiserate about the same issues, right? That I have waited to the last minute to get certain things done yesterday. I was up all night trying to get stuff done, and then I had to get up really, really early. Oh my gosh, I feel your pain. I know what you're going through. Connection goes deeper right away because I've gone vulnerable. See, vulnerability, it leads to that deeper connection, and authenticity makes you more likable because people can relate to it. The fake world of Facebook and Instagram, it's very unrelatable at times. It makes us all like, we say, who are you? I can't be that person. I'm not that person. So think about this for just a second. A moment of vulnerability and a few moments of authenticity could result in the moment in your life where everything changes. Because you never know who you're talking to. You never know what their experiences are. You don't know where their shoes have walked and what piece that they could drop into your life. Because I believe life is a collection of moments, right? You have to make the moments, then you have to take the moments. You've got to be open to those moments, and you've got to be authentic. You've got to be vulnerable, and you've got to be real, because that's what leads to deeper connections, especially with women. So let me ask you about today's networking, right? It was quick. I came in a little bit late to one of them, and I attended the second one. And this is not to judge at all, but to enlighten you to opportunities that may have been missed, all right? Now, it's a little different because we were virtual, but it actually could be kind of easier because it's virtual for those of you who might be shy and introverted. So what questions did you ask when you were networking? Tell me about yourself. What's your name? What do you do for a living? Where are you from? What else? Anyone else? Type this in the chat real quick. Tell me something else that you asked during the networking. I'm waiting, I'm looking. What do you like about your job? Good question. Yes, I love that question, Nancy. I asked that question. I love that. So what we do for a living is not who we are as women. What we do is not the soul of who we are. So let's look at some questions that could alter, excuse me, I lost my, here we go. There we go. Let's look at some questions that could alter the way you approach networking next time. Okay. So what are you passionate about? What brings you joy? Who do you admire as a woman in business? What do you love about what you do? What is your favorite thing? What else? I said, have you traveled recently? Because I didn't ask that question in this time, but if someone had asked me that, I would have said, no, I was supposed to go to Italy 2 years ago on my 25th anniversary, right in the heightened point of the pandemic. And I have yet to go. And I'm dying to travel, quite frankly. I really am missing it. I'm trying to get rid of the chat. There we go. Okay. So knowing those questions, how would you do things differently? Would it have been a little bit different earlier on in the questions? Like, how would you have connected differently with some of the women? Would you have found interest and commonalities if you had changed the questions that you asked? See, because the point of that networking was you're looking to create a connection that is a foundation for more than just that. You're looking to do more than just tell me what you do so I can determine if I need to work with you, right? There's a new sheriff in town, and it's the New Girls Club. It's women. So what does that mean? Men have had their clubs in corporate America for hundreds of years, right? But not anymore. See, not only are the numbers rising in corporate America for women, but we have secured our spot in starting businesses and entrepreneurship. No doubt about that. So we need to embrace this New Girls Club and look for, well, actually, I don't want to say just look for, we have to make opportunities for collaboration. Let me say that again. We have to make them. Okay, we have to go to each other and we have to make these opportunities happen so that we can collaborate and make things happen. I love this quote from Helen Keller. Alone, we can do so little. Together, we can do so much. Isn't that what this organization is all about at Texas Women's University? It's all about lifting women and bringing them together because together we can do so much. Right? Everyone else, you feel that way as well, right? So women who support the business and professional development of other women, they create an environment where we can all prosper and succeed. When you identify mutual goals and you find the tools to achieve those goals, that can be a recipe for greater success in business and in life. Because women should collaborate, not compete. And you have the power to choose the nature of each and every relationship you build with women in which you connect. Today, you have that power. It's a choice when you meet someone. It's a choice with how you proceed after that connection. When we collaborate, we all succeed. Even if working together means you get the win. Like, so if we're working together, you get the win, you get the client, you make the money. I've helped you succeed because see, when we work together, we rise together. When we work alone, we rise alone. So if I help you shine, then I'll shine also. So that's brilliant. Go ahead, put it on a poster, except don't attribute it to me because I did not write that. I read recently about the shine theory. Does anybody know about this? Thank you, because I didn't either. So I put all the words on there because I really wanted to read this to you, okay? So here's a brief synopsis from the Shine Theory website, which is right on there, shinetheory.com. Shine Theory is an investment over the long term in helping someone be their best self and relying on their help in return. It is a conscious decision to bring your full self to your friendships and to not let insecurity or envy ravage them. Shine Theory is a commitment to asking, would we be better as collaborators than competitors? And the answer is almost always yes. So here's a little bit of a simpler way of saying it. Shine Theory is a practice of mutual investment with the simple premise that I don't shine if you don't shine. It's a term that Anne Friedman coined with her friend Amatu So to describe a commitment to collaborating with rather than competing against other people and especially women. All right, so I love this. Anne wrote in an article on thecut.com. I love this. We hate on women who perceive to be more together than we are. We're really just expressing the negative feelings we have about our own careers or bodies or relationships. Anybody ever feel that way? Because I know I've been there. Not like long time ago, even now. So here's the solution. When you meet a woman who is intimidating, witty, stylish, beautiful, and professionally accomplished, befriend her. Surrounding yourself with the best people doesn't make you look worse by comparison. It makes you better. Remember this as you go forward making connections. I don't shine if you don't shine. So let me ask you this. How are you going to make someone shine in the girls' club today? So today is a new day, and you have this opportunity to go out there and make someone shine. So what's a tribe? A group of people or a community with similar values or interests, a group with a common ancestor or a common leader, right? Okay, it's pretty basic. So let me say this. There's positive psychological effects on finding your tribe. No, I'm not a psychologist, but I have done some research. Right? As much as we crave connection to others, we also have this long-standing desire to belong, to be part of something. I'm sure you've all felt this at some time or another. Like when we graduated, remember that wonderful feeling that rushed over you when you threw your graduation cap in the air, right? And it was just like, oh, or maybe you joined a sorority when you were in college, or you're in a club now even of knitters or puzzlers. You love being a part of something, right? We all want that feeling of being part of something bigger than ourselves. I mean, tribes go back to caveman days when being in a tribe meant survival, quite frankly. But the truth of the matter is, in our super, super connected world, we are less connected than ever before. We feel alone. Being in a tribe, a community, a group of like-minded people, according to Psychology Today, leads to happier living, longer living, less illness, more connectedness, less depression, and an overall better outlook on life. So how do we know it's good for us? How do we find our tribe? Be intentional with what you're looking for, who you want to surround yourself with. Again, to go back to finding commonalities and things and interests in common, interests and goals. Let go, listen to this one really quick, let go of preconceived notions about yourself. So this goes back to what I said earlier, don't focus on you. Maybe you consider yourself weird. Maybe you're a little awkward in front of people. Maybe you're socially inept. Maybe you're the nerdy computer type. Let go of all of that. Because guess what? There's a tribe out there for you. Right? You've got to let go of your ego and be you. But nothing happens until you take action. You have to put yourself out there. Join an art class, join a dance class, yoga class, get on Meetup, and find clubs you can join for mountain biking or cheerleading for adult women, right? Whatever it is. Most importantly is ditch judgment of yourself, ditch judgment of other women. Don't judge them by the way they look. Remember, each and every one of us put our pants on the same way every day. We eat, we go to the bathroom. We are all the same human beings. And don't wait for your tribe to find you. You have to go find them. Friends won't come up to your front door and say, I want to be your friend. You've got to go find them. You got to smile at a stranger. You got to strike up a conversation. Ask those fun getting to know you questions. I kind of look at this like dating. Remember, for those of you, some of you may be in the dating world, for those of us who've been married a really long time, remember in the dating time when there was so much fun and you would ask all the questions and that's what this is like. Okay? You've got to take action. Whether you are shy and an introvert or you're outgoing, you have to take action because it's in your own best interest. Go out there and find your tribe or make your tribe. Bring women together from all walks of your life. On my 50th birthday, in the middle of the pandemic, didn't get to go away. We did have a little girls' weekend at my sister's house. And I brought together 10 friends from 10 different walks of life. No joke. A lot of my friends have met each other through different elements, but we'd never spent a weekend together. And it was really, really neat to see how these women who kind of knew each other, but didn't really know each other, but they all shared a lot of the same qualities of the people that I like to surround myself with, and how we had this lovely weekend together, and they came together from all different walks of my life. And it was very, very interesting. So make things happen, bring people together. Now I want to touch on something a little bit deeper, and then we'll go back up. Let's talk about unconscious bias. And let me tell you, I'm not an expert on this, but I'm definitely aware of it. Because we can't talk about the power of we and women entrepreneurs without touching base on the unconscious biases that we have as women about other women. So everybody take a deep breath. We got to talk about these. This is the hard stuff, right? It's not just men who project these biases toward women. We are a major contributor in biases against ourselves and other women. So let's take a look at a few that you and I, for sure, may have or have said in the past, out loud to a friend. Any of these ringing a bell? She's too confident. She's cocky, right? Ditzy, not smart. These are subconscious or unconscious biases that we carry with us. So what happens when we participate in these biases? We hurt each other and we don't empower each other as women. We damage each other. We damage the progress that we've made as women in creating a world where we have more of an equal footing. So why do we do it? It's unconscious, and it is our own ego sometimes. But we can change that, just like the butterfly that comes from being a caterpillar changes. It starts by being aware of our behavior and by recognizing when it happens and saying not only to not participating in it, but saying no out loud to others who are doing it. And it's not just by stopping doing it, but by changing our behavior completely to embrace women. So you can stop the behavior, but you've got to change and say, I'm going to embrace women. Look at that caterpillar turning to a butterfly. It's a complete 180. That's what we can do as women. It starts by awareness and wanting to make that change. Because I truly believe that we need to honor each other's successes and accomplishments. When you see a peer being honored, send her a note, post about it, shout about it. Don't sit and wallow in your jealousy. Don't let envy steal the joy you could feel for her. then go follow in her footsteps. Emulate her. Find out how she got to where she got, and then go do it yourself. And don't forget to let others shine too. So we are community, right? What is community? These are all the dictionary versions of it, but a feeling of fellowship with others as a result of sharing common attitudes, interests, and goals. Very similar to a tribe, right? Women are a tribe. We are made uniquely with features and capabilities that men do not possess. Can I get an amen? In many, many ways. You were beautifully created to make a mark in this world, whatever that is. See, a lot of people love the idea of being self-made, but it's really a myth. It's completely false. Bootstraps and hustle alone will not get you to where you want to go. But going it alone will be a rough journey with more mistakes and potentially a lot more money spent. Add to that the isolation and the loneliness. And just like this unicorn, it doesn't exist. We all need support to surround ourselves with like-minded people, like-minded women, to be part of a community. See, the strength of a community runs deep, and it feeds the soul with motivation, shared goals, deeper connections, and collaboration. When you connect to the community, you become more productive and create better outcomes for your business and for your life. This is where growth happens. You can go it alone, but let me assure you that we rise as a community, and that is connected and that collaborates together. So here's 6 powerful reasons we rise as a community. Collective wisdom. No one person ever has all the answers. I know I don't. And regardless of the amount of Google-foo or Googliness that you have, or how much of a master Googler you are, which I love to say that about myself, working with others and collaborating with women is going to give you better information. You pull from others' experiences, their areas of expertise, and their wisdom. Pushing our limits. It's really, really, really easy as an entrepreneur to give up when the going gets tough, right? Our mind plays tricks on us. When we work alone, we tend not to push ourselves as hard as we can. By surrounding yourself with others working toward a similar goal or an objective, you'll get motivation, support, and a running partner to push you just a bit further than you would have done on your own. Support and belief also. Some days, those big goals just seem impossible. Some days I just feel like giving it all up. Why am I doing this? What am I doing it for? It's a beatdown. I'm going to go get a job. On those days when you want to give up, that's when we call our community. We call our tribe. And you lean on your community because they will move you through this. They believe in you probably more than you believe in yourself. This is how we empower each other. This is where we hold each other up, right? Because oftentimes we feel like we can't stand anymore on our own. New ideas. I truly believe when you're working within a community of like-minded people that the wisdom of crowds is considerably greater than any one person working alone. See, our divergent worlds and our lenses mean that we all approach the exact same problem slightly differently. Wow, that creates better outcomes, don't you think? I say when you have an idea and I have an idea, now we each have an idea. We have 2 ideas. When we bring our challenges to each other, new solutions and ideas develop. New thinking sparks new ideas. Now, I love this one because this is one of those, again, that I lean on a lot. It's a little different than support and belief, but even those days when you believe in yourself and it is waning and doing what needs to get done can seem overwhelming. Look around at your community and be inspired. Again, don't be envious because that will steal your joy, but be inspired. This goes back to seeing women we perceive as having it all together and being there where we want to be. But you can get motivated by their success, be joyful in their wins, and push yourself to run next to them instead of behind them. And the sixth powerful reason we rise as a community is accountability. If you're an uber responsible person, you may not want to admit to people you care about who's pulling for you or who you are pulling for, and that something didn't get done. Well, I'll tell you, as an entrepreneur, the number one thing that I am is not accountable to anybody, right? I don't have a boss other than my clients. And I'm really, really good at the fluffy excuses, or I'm working on it to buy me some more time. You know what I mean? Anybody else relate to that? But we all need accountability, right? Children thrive when we hold them to limitations, right? So do adults. Your community can be your accountability partner. This is how you find your highest level of success. There's nothing like having to be accountable to others to up your game. Oh, I didn't say it was going to feel good. It doesn't feel good. No. I hate it when a friend calls me. He's like, did you get that done? You said you were going to launch that this month. What happened? But I thank her because honestly, I do let things go. I'm a human being and I'm flawed. Right? And I'm an entrepreneur with multiple businesses. So it makes it difficult sometimes, right? So with community, you got to imagine what can happen, what can be done, and what can be accomplished together. This is how we rise as a community. So we is you and me, and you, and her, and her, and her, and her, and her. And it's you and us together. When we work together, when we empower one another, when we collaborate, we are more powerful. And we make an impact together. All right, I'm going to try something now. I'm going to turn off the sharing because I want to be able to see you guys and I want you to be able to see me. Now, I usually do this in person, so it's a little bit different. But I think, and actually, I know with you guys' help, we can do this. So I want everyone to hold their hand up. I wanted to look at you guys. If you can turn on your cameras, it would be really powerful. Okay? I want you to hold, if you can see me, hold your index finger up. Now, one index finger. Now try to focus on the screen of the others, okay? We're going to make a connection. So I want you to go and I want you to touch your screen anywhere in the middle of the screen. Just touch your screen and hold it there and look at the faces of the women who are touching you. Do you feel the connection? The energy we're sharing across the miles? Now open your hands. Put your whole hand on the screen. Doesn't have to be on your camera, just on the screen. These women are here to make connections with you. They are a part of your community. They are your tribe. This is how we rise together. That wasn't so bad. Could you feel the energy? I kind of got it. I was like, oh, I got the chills when I started to do it. Oh, I got the chills. All right. So one last thing. I think if I can get it to go. This working two screens thing. Here we go. What did you guys think of that? What did you ladies think of that? Yes? Well, I hope.
Would it be okay to share an opinion? Is that okay?
Yeah, hold on. Let me wrap, and then we'll do Q&A, and we're gonna talk this out as long as Donna Lisa and Tracy will let us do it. So we together as women entrepreneurs, I mean, we can do so much to remember that we are better as a tribe and a community, and we are more powerful than we are destructive enemies, right? So we rise when we lift each other up, when we embrace one another, when we celebrate each other, and we have each other's back. There is power in we. And I would love to connect with you. Here is my information. You will be able to get this slide deck as well as all of my info. In fact, I will send you the full deck as well as the text from the presentation. If you will text the number on the screen with the words Power of We, with your name, email address, and phone number. And trust me, I'm not savvy enough to be doing a whole lot of texting back or putting you on lists either. So this is just so I can email you the text from this, because it does look really nice with the PowerPoint as well. And with that, I thank you for allowing me to be a part of this journey today. And I hope that you will go out and find your tribe. You will lift others so that we can rise as a community together of women, and you will let others shine as well. Thank you so much. And I'm going to stop sharing, and then I'm going to open it up for questions and answer. I think that's what you ladies wanted me to do. Yes, Miss
Martina.
Martina.
Yeah, I love the concept of shine. It pretty much is empowered women, empowering women. But one thing I will say about, and this is just from my own experience, don't be surprised if it doesn't happen overnight, because we got to realize we're dealing with 1,000 years of probably brainwashing, not only in men, but in women. To do business. I mean, a lot of women thought the only way they could be successful was to act like the men. And I'm sorry to say, they've taken on a lot of the negative characteristics of men in the business world. So here you are, this new thing coming along with your new concepts. Don't be surprised if they feel threatened, but don't let it stop you, because you'll probably end up finding a tribe away from your inner circle, or at least from the people you've grown up with, from the usual people you've hung out with. I find that this has happened for myself. I can't talk like this stuff with my family. I can't even talk like this stuff with the people I live with. It is like a foreign concept. I'm talking like out of this world. You might as well be an alien from another planet. Talking this stuff. But the good news is there are women out there that do believe in this stuff, that want to make this the new way of business, collaboration over competition. Just don't be surprised that you have to find them outside your inner circles. Don't be surprised if you have to find them outside your own country, outside your own community. And the good news is we are in such a technologically advanced age with Zoom and Google Meets and all social medias that it is now possible to have a global tribe of women that are helping you make this a reality. So yeah, that's my...
You are absolutely right on, Martina. And thank you for saying that. And quite frankly, I mean, you're right. Each and every one of us, I don't know how many of you are not from the DFW area, but one of the great things is that if you don't find your tribe right in your backyard, and you've still got to hit those brick walls with the people who have not changed their thinking, you got to get on the phone and you got to surround yourself with the ones who do know and understand this thinking, because that will bring you back to being grounded, right? Because you can get lost in the yuck of the ones who don't understand it. So, phone a friend, phone someone in this community to pull you back in and say, keep doing what you're doing.
So does anybody have a question for Tamara? I do. I can. I don't want to step over anybody though. So you talked about, like, I know one of the things that you brought up in your talk was about, you know, our part is when we hear other women doing, you know, bashing another woman or tearing her down, you know, where the change comes is somebody standing up and saying, you know, enough is enough. So can you give maybe, because I know a lot of people are not big into conflict. And just the thought of doing that could bring on some anxiety. So maybe some quick tips on like how you could, you know, kind of interject there and.
Yeah,
you know.
absolutely. And I'll be honest with you, non-conflict here. Yeah, but those situations are one of those things where I will step into it. So first and foremost is I would try to remove yourself and that woman who maybe is participating out of the situation. You never want to call someone out with everyone else there, because all that's going to do is heighten the drama. Because at that point now, as a woman, right, and we would feel, oh, you know, what are you doing? And now I'm going to get defensive. So if the situation has to continue for you to then have the conversation afterwards, do that. But it's one of those, hey, can I chat with you here for just a second? And, you know, the situation that just went down, I just wanted to tell you that I'm uncomfortable. And I don't know if you actually realize it, because I always love to give people the benefit of the doubt. Okay. In all honesty, we do things unconsciously and we say things unconsciously, just like Martina said, thousands of years of this thinking. You know how many men I know are really, really, really good men who support women, who occasionally I hear them say things that I'm like, what? Because I know it was just, that's their household that they grew up in. Okay. So take that woman aside and say, I don't know if you realize that this is what you just said. And I don't know actually if you realize that this is how it comes across, right? Have you guys ever heard the sandwich method? Compliment, negative, positive, right? It's kind of that approach. I try to soften it with, hey, I don't think you realize that you're doing this. And then, well, what did I do? Well, when you talk about another woman's success like this, it in front of no less 3 men, it actually downgrades our role as women. And I don't think you realize that. Now, you know, behind closed doors, sometimes we say to our close friends, we will talk about certain things, but there are too many things that we say in public that we should not be saying in public. But in all honesty, the more we say it behind closed doors, the more it stays in our unconscious anyway. So we shouldn't be doing that either. We just have to celebrate one another, right? So it's just that step by step. Try to sandwich it. Say that, I don't think you're realizing this, or did you hear yourself say this? Well, what did I say? Well, you said that she didn't really deserve that job and you can't understand why she got it. Well, I really don't understand why she got that job. Well, maybe she has qualifications you and I are unaware of. Maybe there's more about that job that you don't know about. Either way, she got this because someone just got an assistant director job at Tech Fort Worth here. And it just makes me think about this. Either way, she got the job. She was hired because they felt she deserved it. So why don't we honor her? Does that help, Donalisa?
Yeah, exactly. My daughter always says, don't call people out, call them in.
I love that.
I think we should, you know, that's a big thing on social media, right? It's really easy to call somebody out behind a computer, but to the assistant director, it doesn't matter like how she got there, she is there. And our job as women is to come alongside of her and support her. Maybe she wasn't qualified, but maybe she was the best qualified candidate. So what skills and knowledge do we have that we can share with her, right?
Absolutely.
That's awesome. Does anybody else have any more?
Well said.
All right. Well, thank you so much. This was this would have been, I'm not even gonna lie, I can't even lie. This would have been like on fire, even more so in person.
Oh,
Yeah,
thank
we would
you.
have had to fan the flames for sure.
Well, I'm honored that you let me be here, especially the first of the year. And I really look forward to connecting with you ladies outside of here. So you've got my contact information, and make sure you keep attending these events. They put on some wonderful events.
So Tracy, I'm going to turn it back over to you and reminding you as I do that we do have a poll.
Great. Well, if you want to go ahead and get that poll started, Tamara, we just love that. That was such great information and really a lesson to all of us and what we need to be thinking about and what we need to be doing right now and how we can really lift up other women. Just loved it. And we love the new person at Tech Fort Worth. And we are super excited about that work. Okay, we have the poll up there now. If everybody would like to fill that out. Donna Lisa's watching that, but we have some great things coming up that we would like all of you involved in. Donna Lisa, do you want to share our upcoming events?
Sure. So our first one is Thursday, January 20th. It's our first quarter special evening event. We do that once a quarter. This one is a panel discussion on how to leverage events to grow your business and increase sales. So we've got 3 fabulous members of our community that have been out there for quite some time doing trade shows and farmers markets and conferences and seminars. And so we are bringing them along with Tracy as our moderator to share their experiences and really how you can leverage those that event marketing to grow your business and of course increase sales, because that's always important. So we've got that on January 20th from 6 to 7, and registration is open. There's still plenty of time to take care of that. And then our next WomenRISE, which is 8 February, and we're going to go virtual on that as well. So I'm so sorry. I know, COVID, go away. But we have Deidre Kendridge. She is with Your Healthcare Nurse Advocates, and she's going to be speaking to us about, are you standing in your way? Then move. So we are starting off 2022 with some great speakers, with some great messages to empower you to step into your business. And I feel like with Tamara's presentation, we should have been playing the CWE playlist back behind her as she was doing that. I think that would have been even better. So, so that's what we have going on. And I'll go ahead and stop the poll and turn it back to you, Tracy.
Okay, well, we thank everyone for being here today. What a great crowd. I saw Sonia's message there about virtual. Don't you worry, all of our programming will continue to have a virtual piece, but we do miss seeing everybody in person as well. Again, thank you, everyone. Tamara, again, it was excellent. Thank you so much. Donna Lisa, are we ready now to use some of these new questions in our next networking session?
Yes, let me stop the recording.